Our next presenter is John McArthur. John is a member and employee of the Pheasant Mountain Dakota First Nation, and he's been working in the community development area for his nation for 2 years, fostering and supporting dialogue among members in the community. After 14 years of working at a university, John was thrilled for the opportunity to work for his people, his family, and his First Nation again as a community navigator. And he's going to tell us a little bit about this. I don't want to spoil the fun, but I think it's only in Saskatchewan so far, the Community Navigator program. They've been piloting it, and it's been very successful, and some wonderful lessons learned and some best practices to share with the rest of the country. So please welcome, help me in welcoming John.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today with you. I've met some wonderful folks already, and I'm just honored to be here. I can talk about this project all day long, so I know Heather's going to stop me after 20 minutes, so that's fine. So I'm just going to scratch the surface, so I definitely want to say welcome. I'm just honored to be here. I'm from Pheasant Mountain, Dakota, and that is in the very southeast part of the province. We're very close to Estevan, but still 45 minutes away, 2 hours away from Regina. So we are in the rural setting. It's not a new concept. Planning in itself, we've done for generations. And now what we're doing is we're just getting back to what we used to do. And with the support of Government of Canada, specifically Indigenous Services Canada, with the goal and the intent that we are preparing for the future. So I have a short presentation, but it's not working. So I typically just wing it at this point. So I am quite happy to be back home. There's been numerous steps taken to make progress happen in our community. And because of that, we have membership that sought change, sought positive change to begin to happen. And the membership called upon leadership to say, this must take place now because we're falling behind. So that's the intent behind the community navigator position. It's sort of morphed into something that is sort of undescribable on a piece of paper. So I like just sort of scratching the surface and then having a 4-hour discussion about it afterwards. So part of our community navigator work would involve talking with our membership of all ages and locations. So in my particular First Nation, our membership is roughly 444 people, and only a quarter of that number live on reserve. Now, with the intent that we are building a future, we need to develop a way to attract our membership back. We need to develop the steps, the resources that are necessary to attract our members back with employment and housing opportunities. And there we go. So community planning, what is it and why? So we are gathering ideas and knowledge that we have in our possession already. We have gone through this many, many times without really a formal process. So now we're just with the idea of getting the work done now. Who can get us started? So with the support of Canada, they said, we're not allowing outside consultants to do this work. We're going into the community, finding a champion and getting the work going. So our community navigators are one of the members. So the First Nation, are we ready to begin? Will depend on the membership desire to make change happen. If no change is desired, then we sort of just sail the boat along. But when rough seas come along, we've got these peaks and valleys that we must navigate, and we need community navigators to be armed with the knowledge and the support. So we are building empowered communities so that when partnerships or opportunities present themselves, these communities are ready to capitalize on those opportunities. So part of that is gathering our knowledge, and a lot of the foundational experience is within our elders. We must not ignore that or push it aside. We must embrace it with honor and respect. Allow them to tell their stories. Their stories usually have a relevance, and it's important to capture that. On the government side of things, our council and our leadership we need to ask them to assess the current reality and be truthful. We need to know where we're starting from and where we have to go. But with the idea that if we're a community, our paths are very common. So we can talk about where we're going to and help each other get there. And of course, decisions are tough to make sometimes, but when all the memberships are informed and come together and have a voice, that's a very progressive decision-making process. And then after the success of our opportunities we endeavor on, we must celebrate because we have lots to celebrate every day. But with these awesome partnerships that we're approaching every year, it is something that on both sides of the coin can celebrate. So this is an example of the job description I had 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago, and I'm really thankful it was like this. And full disclosure, my boss is my brother, my next older brother. So when he said apply for the job, I said, well, what job? What are you talking about? But because of that, he allowed the flexibility to be incorporated into the position so that if we must go talk with Canada, you know, I can help step in and help make that happen. If we need to talk with the local school, I can step in and make that happen. So this job description was very handy. And I'm helping to create a new one for it. So, as I said, special thanks to the community development officers at Indigenous Services Canada. The local office in Regina is staffed by wonderful folks, and as well as the other offices. And Canada said these are permanent employees who are designed, trained, and capable of helping community navigators navigate the paperwork and the reporting that's necessary. So in their support, they also helped us create the skfn.ca website. So that's a dashboard type website with some data. I know everybody loves data. So it's pretty accurate and will be updated as we go. And as well, in that website, we have a resource tool which allows companies, organizations to supply some information about grants and bursaries that are open to Indigenous communities and non-Indigenous communities for various reasons. So there's also a wonderful resource tool there for navigators as well as other community members. With the support that we received, I was able to, as a community navigator, develop a community development plan over the last 2 years. And this plan relied on me gathering knowledge and experience and ideas from the membership, young and old, no matter if they're on reserve or off reserve, they all have a connection and they want their voice heard. So this document I'm happy to share out with potential partners, and it lists out the basically 8 to 10 areas of daily life, so governance, recreation, youth, education, and it highlights some of the priority areas for my First Nation, so that at a glance you can take 5 minutes, you can learn a lot about Pheasant and Dakota from this document. So as part of the network, it's growing currently. We're sitting at about 20 First Nation communities that have community navigators, and thanks to Indigenous Services Canada, that number is being increased very soon. And hopefully by next summer, we'll have about 50 communities. And thanks to that network, we are pulling on each other for support, for knowledge, and relying on building that network further. So some of the planning process that happens in the First Nation communities is having a community champion to take the lead and not be afraid to talk about the tough topics, talk about the difficult ideas, and also be able to play the other side of that discussion and say, well, what is possible, what is sustainable for a community? Because we do have some pie in the sky ideas, and sometimes we just kind of need to scale it back and put it into realistic terms. And in doing so, I immerse myself with their ideas, and I get committed. If it's a very realistic goal, we get committed to it right away so that we can get the wheels turning. And a lot of that does take place outside of the box. So I really encourage myself on a daily basis to think outside the box and then work outside that box. box. We have some new ideas and some new opportunities that will not take place in a simple boardroom on the 10th floor of a building downtown Regina. We're dealing with corporations at the band office, at the coffee shop, at the school grounds. We're outside the box, and we invite you to join us there. And of course, along this whole process, we always want to be respectful and patient, because the whole idea of generating these ideas doesn't happen in a blink of an eye. These are elder stories, elder experiences, mixed in with some youth ideas and youth energy. And realistically, my 5-minute conversation can easily turn into a 2-hour conversation among many different topics. So I really do my best to always approach it as a respectful, patient learner. In talk about being patient, I always like to bring up this map on the left is a map of our reserve lands. So as you can see, you see these red boxes. We're not in one big square. We're, due to our complex history, this is what we are in today. So down at the bottom of the map is Kisby, a small village, and we have some reserve lands around that. But again, you know, we're looking at complex challenges, and this is something that we must allow our partners to learn about us. On the right side is our cultural camp and the teepees being set up. That's an important image that I want you to take home with you. You can take a $500,000 house and put it down beside a teepee. I'll choose the teepee. You know, there's a sense that it has sustained human life for thousands of years. We can't disrespect it. So as a community navigator planner slash developer, we are wearing many hats, as most of you are, and because of that, we are stretched to the limit some days. We are under construction all the time. I can't recall one day this year that we weren't thinking about a project or working on a project. And due to our low numbers at reserve, it's challenging. So this morning, it's just been chaos in my email. And on being under construction, we always must remain flexible and responsive. So in regards to all this building that we're doing, we're also focusing on family, youth, local entertainment, local culture, local arts, and we're trying to build on that as we're under construction in other ways. And we realize that at the end of this pain, we have a gain. We have exciting potential. This is our new Head Start building on the very left far side. And on top there are our solar panels. So the solar panels was a quick win. It was a great job, great project. And if you refer to the Regina Leader Post, you can read the whole story on that. It just happened recently. And we're excited about being this sustainable step towards the future, as well as promoting it to our members to be a little more environmentally friendly. So the longest and short of it is that we are listening to the elders, youth, and everyone else. So as our elders are leaving the workforce, our youth are trying to join the workforce, we are listening to the challenges, to the benefits, to the experience, and then we're documenting, we're planning around it, we're forecasting the future so that our next generation of youth will have more hope, will have more opportunity. That will keep them in the rural setting. That will keep them at Pheasant Dakota. And it's important to listen to what they're saying, because it's not about these flashy headlines, it's about what they're saying in between those headlines. That really counts, and sometimes it's education, sometimes it's a driver's license. And those are the challenges that this leadership, or me as a community navigator, I'm approaching every day. And my every day is 7 days a week. My boss is me. And of course, create long-term positive changes, because all this work today will hopefully be equal in less work for the future generations. So as our developing partnerships, we want them long-term partnerships so that my children and my grandchildren don't have to approach you again and say, hey, let's create a new partnership. We already have one, and it's great, it's beneficial, it's mutually beneficial. So in the implementation side of things, I always like to show on this bus, get on the bus with us. You know, it's going to be a great ride. It's going to go to a destination that is mutually beneficial to the communities, be it your community or my community, and we can improve the positivity around those partnerships. And when we make those good things happen, we'll celebrate those accomplishments together. You know, recently we were able to have a ribbon cutting ceremony where we had SAS Power representative and True Green Energy representative with one of our youth cutting ribbon. It was the greatest sight I could remember all year. It's just wonderful. So the celebrations have to occur afterwards. And this is my grandson. So I'd like to always finish it off that says, you know, what's good for me is good for my grandson. What is good for my grandson is good for me. And that is what I take into my community every day. So if I have to work 7 days a week in order to make sure a youth gets to the job site or has the work clothes to get to the job site, I'm there. If the leadership says that we need to go get this equipment so that we can prepare for the next project, I'm there. And it's because that I don't want him to do all the heavy lifting when he grows up. And I appreciate that I'm given a unique opportunity, supported by Canada, supported by others, to branch out, meet a lot of you great folks, and invite you in. Invite you to come visit Fezzeram, Dakota. Invite you to contact me. If you have a business opportunity in Scotland, tell me about it. I'll go to Scotland. I'll start a business with you, Jane. And just on the last bit of Scotland, so my last name is McArthur, so my great-great-grandma chose a Scotsman as long as he stayed with the tribe. And luckily enough for me, he stayed with the tribe. So my shout out to Scotland. So I just want to say, just want to keep it short. I can just scratch the surface. I've got so much more to talk about. I welcome and invite you to email me, call me. I'd be happy to discuss it further, and I definitely look forward to learning more. Thank you very much.